హాయ్ ఫ్రెండ్స్, వెల్కమ్ బ్యాక్ అవర్ ఛానల్. మన ఛానల్లో ఈ రోజున 7th క్లాస్ సోషల్ స్టడీస్లో భాగంగా ఇంగ్లీష్ మీడియం చాప్టర్ 4th లెసన్ నేమ్ వచ్చేసి ఓషన్స్ అండ్ ఫిషింగ్ గురించి మనము ఈ వీడియోలో తెలుసుకుందాం. పార్ట్ 1. ది ఎర్త్ ఈజ్ నౌన్ యాజ్ ఏ వాటర్లీ ప్లానెట్ యాజ్ ఇట్ ఈజ్ ది ఓన్లీ ప్లానెట్ containing water in abundance. It is estimated that about 71% of the earth surface is covered by oceans and seas. What is your image of a sea or an ocean? What have you seen or heard about oceans and seas? An extension of saline water on earth is called sea. Large seas areas are called oceans. Oceans are huge bodies of water generally separated by continents. It will be interesting to find out what lies under the water. The surface of water does not tell us about what lies under it. You might have had the opportunity to notice or feel what the bed of a river or stream or pond is like. Giving to some questions. Please share what you have seen or felt about what lies under the surface of water bodies. Next one. How many meters deep are the water bodies that you have seen? Two question given. So it is question right to the in comment box. Next one is ocean relief. Ocean relief. The floor of the ocean is just like the surface of the earth. The bottom of the sea is not a flat surface. It consists of hills, mountains, plateaus, plains, trenches, etc. Many trenches on the ocean floor so deep that even if the Mount Everest was placed in them, it would drown completely. A major parts of ocean floor is about 3 to 6 kilometers below the sea level. This picture is a sketch of the different kinds of the land, different kinds of land forms that can be found under the surface of an ocean. Shows the picture relief features of what lies below the surface of the oceans around land. In figure, observe the land masses of India and then go over to the floor of the Bay of Bengal, the Arabian Sea and the Indian Ocean. Try to point out the areas look like hills, plains and trenches on the ocean floor. The waters of the oceans are never still. There are different kinds of the movements in them. Ocean waters have 3 kinds of the movements. There are, first one is waves, currents. Third one is tiddies. First one is waves. When the water on the surface of the ocean rises and falls, they are called waves. What is the waves? When the water on the surface of the ocean rises and falls, they are called waves. Waves are formed when gentle winds scrape across the ocean's surface. The faster the wind, the biggest will be the waves. Second one is currents. In the oceans, water moves from one part to the another in big streams. These streams, which flows constantly in a definite direction on the surface of the oceans, are called ocean currents. The ocean currents are of two types. First one is the warm current and the cold current. First one is warm current and the second one cold current. The warm currents flows from the equatorial regions towards the poles. The cold currents flows from the poles to the equatorial region. They are mainly caused by the prevailing winds, difference in temperature and salinity of the ocean water. Next one is third one is tiddies. Tiddies are the rhythmic rises and falls in the level of the water in the oceans every day. All places on the coastal experience some hours of low tide and some hours of the high tide. Tides do not rise to the same height every day. When the tide is high, water comes up to the coastal for some distance. Then as low tide begins, the water moves back from the land. The tides are of great help for fishing. Tides at some place take away the mud brought down by rivers and prevent silting. Next one is fishing village on the coastal plains. What is this? Fishing village on the coastal plains. Ocean water is always saline. It contains is several minerals, salts, dissolved in it. Oceans are the main sources of rainfall. Oceans are also storehouses of fish and other seafoods. Oceans provide natural highways for international trade. Let us visit Bhavnapadu, a fishing village near the coastal of Andhra Pradesh, and study the life of people living near the ocean. I give you some questions. Find the districts that lies on the coastal line of Andhra Pradesh. Second one is Find the district in which Bhuvanapadu village is located. Next, look at the images of Bhuvanapadu village and find the following. Some questions giving to the you find that. After that, you giving to the comment box. Next one is fishing. It is 4 in the morning. In 4 in the morning, Appalakonda's wife of Danamma wakes him up and gives him some rice gruel to eat by 5 o'clock a.m., after which Appalakonda is ready to go out to the sea. His friends wait for him on the beach. All of them are people or poor fishermen. They did not own any boats or nets. They work on Tata Rao's mechanical boats. Altogether, there are 20 members on a boat. Tata Rao also joins them and walks along with them. The boat had already been made ready the day before with all the necessary things properly loaded in it. Next one is before launching into the sea. They check the engine, the rope puller, the additional stock of diesel, and also put their food packages down the prey to the goddess in whom they have a strong faith. Tata Rao owns this boat, which he purchased from the Marakonda in Odisha. It cost him around the rupees 6 lakhs. He borrowed the money from the private landers at the high rate of the interest. He couldn't get a bank loan as he had no fixed assets even for daily fishing expenses. He has to get advance from middlemen. He has to invent a minimum of rupees 5,000 per trip for diesel, wages, and other expenses. Since he borrowed money from the middleman, Tata Rao has so sell the day's catch of fish to the middleman at the rate he fixed. By this time, the boat is ready for sailing, and all the 20 members are on the boats. They go up to 15 to 20 kilometers in the sea. Danamma, wife of Appalakonda, attends to domestic work after he leaves for work and finishes this work by 9 a.m. Then she goes to work in the salt pans. Sometimes she also attends to agricultural work as they do not possess any agricultural land or salt pond salt ponds. Their family depends on the daily wages they get. While laboring in the salt plant, Dhanamma eagerly waits for her husband's phone's call. She remains anxious about her husband's safety and also about the catch. If there is a good catch, they will get more money for the household. The fisherman returns any time between 1 p.m. and 8 p.m. or sometimes even late in the night. On the day he visited the village, they came back at 3 p.m. with a good catch of a type of fish known as para. Some middlemen temporarily store the fish, segregate them and carry them in cold container tank to faraway place like Kolkata, Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, Kerala, and so on. These people get 4 times more money than the catcher does. Observe the following picture of the Pentaya Adda, the local middleman. So far we discussed the big fishing business, but there are also small fisher folk in the village. Karatappa is a country-made boat which goes up to 5 kilometers into the sea and brings small catch of fish. This fish can be taken by the waves of the fishermen known as the Barakatulu. They sell this fish in nearby town like the Nupada, Tekkali, Pudi and Palasa. Compared to the Karatappa, there is a far more risk of the life in the Marapadava mechanized boats because it goes far into sea and it is difficult to swim over to the shore in time of tribal. Apart from that, there is no fish aid available in the big boats nor any life jacket. Fishing is risk and brave occupations. Next one is nets. After reaching home in the afternoon, Appalakonda had his lunch, came to the cyclone shelter with the broken nets and started repairing them. It is an activity commonly. It is an activity commonly seen everywhere in Bonapadu. The fishermen have a special toolkit for repairing the nets, which consists of net repairing fork, threads, and a flattened stick that determines the net ring size. Nets are different type beside on different size of the kanulu rigs. Kanulu mean rings and layers of the net. Nowadays, a net known as ring net which helps in getting a better catch is being increasingly used by fishermen. This has helped to reduce migration from the villages. Earlier, the nets were made of cotton thread. Now, cotton nets have been almost completely replaced by plastic, nylon, and other synthetic materials. A net lasts for 4 to 5 years. Nets are purchased by weight and the type of rings they contains. Nets cost round the rupees 250 to 300 per kg. Rings nets weight round 500 kgs. The fishermen of this area usually buy nets from Brahmapur is Odisha state. Next one is agriculture and animal husbandry. Agriculture and animal husbandry. Fishing is not the only occupation of the people in Bonapadu village, but they also cultivate the land to grow crops. They also rare animals and birds. The village soil is mainly loamy and rice is the principal crop grown on it. Only a few acres of land are irrigated. Bonapadu lies. It has the toil end of Vamshadhara Canal. Water comes to Bonapadu only after the fulfillment of the needs of the nearby village. Maripadu, hence most of the agriculture in Bonapadu depends on the rain. There are no landlords in the village. A large number of the cultivators of the Bonapadu are small farmers. They do not grow any commercial crop. Some of them rear cows and buffaloes. There are 2 poultries in this village running profitably. Rice production is not sufficient for their needs, so the people get rice from the ration shops through their white cards and sometimes buy it from the market. Next is salinity and drinking water. The water in the village is saline. If one digs up to 8 or 10 feet near the beach, one can get potable water. But in summer, these walls dry up and it takes a long time for the water to fill up again. Sometimes you have to wait for an hour to get another pot of water, so women have to wait long to fetch water or have to walk up to 2 kilometers to collect fresh water. And the government has sectioned a protective water project that pumps water from the nearest village known as Suryamanapuram. This project provided some relief for some time, but cleaning of the overhead water tanks and frequent repair of the pumping motor is a hardly for some time. Youth organization helped in the keeping the water project active, but it is as a stopped functioning now. Next one is social life. Social life. A large number of the people of the Bonapadu worship Gangamma, Gauri and Shiva. They perform puja of their boats and nets. The most important festival is Gauri Purnima. They spend common good found of the village. On those festivals, observe this picture. Most men like Apalakonda wear tattoos like this. There is an open stage when the drums, burrakatas, arikatas and record dance are performed. All these activities are led by caste headmen called pillas. They determine the costumes and traditions of the people. They even resolve the disputes and impose fines. The money collected goes to common good found. Next video is lesson name is Europe. It is a 5th chapter. Thank you. Have a nice day.